Insights with Terri Ep.105, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Ep.105. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Ep.105. We will be discussing the week of January the 22nd through the 29th, 2023. So put your seatbelts on, folks. We're in for a bit of a ride. It'll be quite interesting. Not a bad ride, it's an interesting ride. We have just changed sun signs from Capricorn to Aquarius. Now the sun sign is the zodiac symbol sign that is in the eastern horizon. So that is now moved from Capricorn, which is solid and organized and capable, to Aquarius. What's that going to offer us? Well, let's discuss it. Aquarius is also in Venus for this next week. Venus being the planet of love and beauty. Now that's going to change on the 28th to Pisces, but we'll discuss that a little bit later. It's in Aquarius right now, and that's pairing with the sun sign. So we have a double kind of energy here. What it tries to lend to us is finding our core essence of who we are, our own sense of individuality, our sense of self. So how would you describe yourself to somebody? And would you be accurate? Interesting little challenge. Maybe take a friend that you're comfortable with, that is honest with you, and describe yourself to that friend. And then ask for feedback. Now you can't get mad if it doesn't coincide with how you see yourself. It's just a lesson in how we are perceived by others and how we're perceived by ourselves. That can be very different. So you have to look, well, I shouldn't say you have to. It would be good to look at what motivates you and why. Now, I work with the dogs a lot that way. A lot of people come with their dogs and they'll have to say to their dog, sit, 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 stay, 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 stay. Sammy, Sammy, don't do that. Sammy, Sammy. Ay, 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 ay. I try to get my puppies motivated. I want them happy. I want them working happy, and I want them to work for me in a happy way. Motivation. So when you're motivated, you do things that you are motivated to do. But what motivates you? Now, every dog, every horse, every cat is different. Some of my dogs like toys. Some of my dogs like certain squeaky toys. Some like fluffy toys. Some don't like toys, which is very unusual unless it's a rescue dog that came and didn't have the opportunity to enjoy toys the way I help them enjoy. Some like food. They'll sell them sold for food. Some just like to run beside you. Some like to do the agility course. Every animal is different. What stuns me, it stuns me when people go to pet their dog to reward them for something and the dog dives away and they don't even notice that the dog did not feel rewarded. I wonder if we do that to our friends and our family, that we really don't perceive them and see what really motivates them and what they enjoy, not necessarily what we enjoy giving to them or doing for them. So there we go. That's our homework this week, is to try to find what motivates you. Why does that motivate you? What is it that is in that thing that motivates you? So it's a primal kind of an energy field. Maybe a focal point within your personality. But this is really important, kids. This is something that's being offered to us. Now, we've got a little bit of time. It's going to be double energy because Venus, the planet of attraction, is in Aquarius, but only till the 28th. Now, that doesn't mean you can't find it later, but it's a little bit easier to do it now when everything's aligned to help us. So, with that, we are going to be working with idealism, maybe with community, with honoring our liberty. We will want equality. Science is a real big thing with Aquarian energy. We need to be socially aware. That's what they're trying to get us to look at in a more humanitarian way, so that we can be impartial and see what we need to see. Maybe a little outgoing during this time, and certainly unconventional. Now, a dysfunction of this energy would be cold or critical, maybe even aloof. I'm seeing some people becoming overly rational. They're in their heads instead of their intuition. Maybe even a little erratic. So we have to guard against being blinded by maybe our own opinions and be more willing to take on some maybe feedback from friends or observation of ourselves, observation other people have for us or of us. So with the sun sign here, it's collectively, right? Because this is like all over the world, oriented towards having the emphasis on finding individuality within the context of a group or a community. So how do we find that individuality in amongst maybe a club or your community? Now, I work with the dogs, back to the dogs again, that way. A lot of times I work them individually, probably more often than not, so that they can learn their lessons, they can work with things on a one-on-one with me. But once in a while, I'll take 1, 2, 3 dogs out, and I'll take 5, 6, I have 15. I might take the whole herd and see if I can work with one in amongst all of the others and retain that attention, that lack of distraction, that motivation for the work, the project that's at hand. And we need to do that right now. We're in a group type of energy. That's what Aquarian is. It's humanitarian. And we need to find practical solutions, that's for sure, because we've got some pretty broad social issues going on right now. But we need to maybe find a detached and objective way of looking at some of the issues that we're dealing with. So that might be something that we have to pay attention to. So Aquarius, being an air sign, can concern itself with the exchange of information and ideas, logic, fact. So communication is going to be a key in this next little while. Now, that can be formally or informally, and we need to, through this, maintain some social connections. So it's going to be interesting to see how people use these gifts that are being offered to us in the next little bit, because there's a lot of opportunity in this. Mercury is still in Aquarius. Still in Capricorn, so it will be Aquarius before too much longer. But right now, Capricorn can help us see our way through in a very logical way. So that's going to be a big help to us. Now, as I said, on the 28th, that's this week, Venus, the planet of attraction, love, beauty, will be turning into Pisces. Pisces is very, very intuitive. So we'll have that intuition that can support some of our epiphanies and our aha moments. Mars is still in Gemini. I'm not going to deal with that. I've dealt with that in quite a few of the past podcasts. So if you're interested in it, you're more than welcome to go back and listen to some of the podcasts. It's still there. It's going to stay there for a little bit. And we had that new moon on the 21st, and we're still feeling the effects, at least towards the beginning of the week, with that new moon. And that new moon is giving us new opportunities for maybe seeing some new insights about ourselves, finding new characteristics, cultivating new characteristics, cultivating opportunities to look at a new behavior that you want to add to your portfolio, or get rid of one. You're better off getting rid of one, I think, when there's a full moon. But the new moon lets us see things differently, better sometimes. So take that energy of new, cultivating a new behavior that you want to enjoy and employ, a new pattern, a new way of thinking, a new part of you, where have that opportunity to do that. They've given us the number 3 for this week. The number 3 pairing with Aquarius and where the planets are right now helps us to be more mentally alert. It does give us that creative mind so we can think in expansion, which is what Aquarius and Uranus does. Uranus being the ruling planet of Aquarius, and that is expansion. So that creative mind doubling up with that expansive energy and then being mentally alert. And aside to this, if any of you use essential oils, one of the really good ones that open up your mind and allow for, I would say, really, when you just feel like you have it, your mind is on. It's just, wow, you can hold 3 thoughts at one time. You can have a memory that lasts longer than 2 seconds. Basil is one of the ones that works really well for opening up your mind if you're feeling sluggish or brain fog. You can put a drop in the palm of your hand, rub it together, and breathe it in if you'd like. But the essential oil basil, really good for getting that really sharp-minded feeling back. Now, the number 3, back to that, is creative and original, and it offers us a really good imagination, which we need with the creative mind. So they're giving us all the tools. Good for them. Boredom is not going to be a friend. So getting bored is not going to be anything that anybody enjoys for this next little bit. And a feeling like we want to cooperate with others, which is perfect. That's the number 3 offering that, but that pairs so beautifully with Aquarian energy, which is humanitarian. We may be gifted with being charming and a little bit witty. And so who doesn't like to be charming and witty? So we may be gifted with that. So maybe your jokes will be a little funnier. Or you might have a better attitude towards or with other people, and people like to be with you. Caution, as I said earlier, number 3 also can be critical of others, and when you pair that with the Aquarian energy, that's also a weakness of Aquarian energy. In its weakness is being critical of others. So we just have to watch that. We can be observant and we can be aware, but critical doesn't get us too far. We do have to learn to be more diplomatic, and they're going to give us some of the tools to that. So being that they're going to do that, they will offer you some opportunities to practice that, which means some opportunities practicing diplomacy may be that you'll be offered some challenges that you're not really fussy about, and you'll need to be diplomatic to be able to solve it and not get into ego. We will really want to work freely and without restraints. Restraints don't feel good at this time. So I'm even careful with the animals. I try to let them have a little bit more freedom than I would normally. Of course, I'm a helicopter mom. I'm watching over them because I don't want them to get stolen by eagles or any of the coyotes. But they do like to run in the agility field without leashes and just let them run. Just be a dog. So we'll feel the same way. We'll just want to not have the restraints that we need. And oftentimes, number 3 likes working with other people, as I said, like in pairs or in a group. So this supports it. So if you have a team project, if you have team anything, this is a really good energy to start undertaking that. And believe it or not, this is an energy that helps us work better under stress. We activate it a little bit better. We use it a little more positively. Stress is not such a bad thing. It is when it's in a bad energy field, but stress itself can make us more awake, more alert, can push us a little bit better if it's used productively. And it can activate our mental energy. That's what stress is supposed to do, make us awake, alert. And so we can use that productively. This is what we've got for this week. Now, what I want you to be careful of in the vulnerability of our bodies this week, the first part of the week may give us a little sensitivity with our little feeties, our feet, the toes, all the lower part of our extremities could be at issue. So if you're vulnerable there, it could be a little bit more difficult for you. So if you have sore feet naturally, or if your feet talk to you and say, okay, kid, you've had enough, you might want to listen to them so you don't go too far. Wear really good shoes, cushion those little babies, rub them if you need to, pamper them, it won't hurt you. The other thing is some of us may have some trouble sleeping because melatonin is in short supply right now when you add all this energy. So in medical astrology, we may be lacking a little melatonin. If some of you take that as a supplement, you might want to look at maybe making sure you have enough of it. If you don't take it, you may need some help getting some sleep, however you normally do that. It could be the hot bath, it could be staying away from the computer before bed, could be exercise and then getting into bed. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own way. Could be meditation. You may need to put those tools into effect because sleep might not be as easy for the first part of this week as we would like it to be. And perception and sensitivity will be really acute the first part of the week, which is, I don't know if that's the truth. I don't know if I really swallow that whole little bit of story that's been given to me. We're very perceptive, and we have that to perceive, right? To see what the truth is, which is sometimes not such an easy thing to do. And our spirituality can really surge to another level. It'll be supported. So in that support, we'll be searching too. What's the meaning of life? Who am I? Trying to evolve. Now, the middle of the week could bring a little bit more pressure on our heads. So if you tend to have migraines or headaches, it could put more pressure. Any problems with your teeth, your tongue, that head area, sinuses, could give you a little bit more trouble than normal towards the middle of the week. Now, everybody's different in their time frame. I'm just giving you a little bit of a heads up. And be a little careful of being impulsive. It's ruled by Aries, and Aries can be impulsive. It's the ram, right? Just go at it. We will be more prone to make snap decisions. And if you don't think that's in your best interest, be careful. Towards the end of the week, the vulnerability will start moving down towards the neck, your larynx, your tonsils, the vocal cords, your throat, the thyroid. So you may need to pay special attention to those areas if you're vulnerable in them. Some of us may get laryngitis a little bit easier than others. Well, be prepared. Your voice might not be in the best shape, so don't tax it if you don't have to. We'll really crave stability towards the end of the week. It's ruled by Taurus. Taurus is the bull, and the bull really does like to know that it's secure. You know, it gets enraged easy, and it just wants everything just be nice, just be good, just be the same. So that some of the situations that you'll be faced with will be, how do I accept change? How do bull self-respects, right? They like themselves a lot. So we'll be working with encouraging self-respect in ourselves and being respectable so that we can be respected. So we got a whole bunch of stuff going on this week. I thank you so much for your time, and I want to have a shout out there for my Charlie O'Brien. He has graciously helped us in I don't know how many podcasts, a lot, to put us on Spotify. We're on Apple iTunes, Amazon Music, Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube. We're also on Facebook, and if you want any of the archived podcasts that have gone on and that you just want to catch up or go over something, he has it on the website www.terriworld.com. So you can go and get some of the ones that you might have missed. He usually has 4 or 5 of them up there. I appreciate your time. I thank Charlie so much for doing all that work. And you guys have a good time this week. Enjoy this week. There's so much opportunity out there. Just be awake, be alive, watch the animals. They'll teach us. If you need a reading for yourself, don't hesitate to text or call 519-726-6699, or you can email me at Terri, Terri.Coutts, Coutts, @gmail.com. Thanks so very much, everyone. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coutts. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com, TERRI world.com.